Ladies and gentlemen, you are back for another video with Datazero. This is your daily outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. This video is not financial advice, should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence before buying any stock or crypto asset. With that being said, let's hop into charts, facts, data showing you what is going on for the day and the rest of this week. Ladies and gentlemen, first we're going to be looking at the meme stocks. Then we're going to be looking at AMC, GME. Then we're going to be looking at SPY and then the overall market and then cryptocurrency. The thing that we're looking at here for GME did get a green day as expected and did hit the $23 price target as expected as well. Now the question is GME going to break and hold $22? I'm going to answer that in this video. Looking at AMC, you guys can see that AMC is also breaking out of a falling wedge. Bullish momentum is definitely building. RSI is trending up as price is trending down. That is called bullish divergence. That means price is going to flatten out, which it's doing now, and then start to correct to the upside once it's done flattening out. So AMC is going to get a move up, but I'm expecting GME to start moving first and then AMC to shortly follow up afterwards. AMC did fill the gap fill to the upside that it had. It did fill that today. It popped up, filled it, and then dropped back down. The reason why AMC got shorted and went down so much is because of the heavy shorting. You guys can see we're at 16.50% short interest, 7.62 days to cover, and they went all the way from 9.7 million short shares all the way down to 6.5 million, dumping millions and millions of short shares here on AMC. Now GME was not spared either as well, sitting at 16.69% short interest, 9.59 days to cover, and sitting at 8.5 million short shares at time of recording, and they started with 10 million short shares, dumping down and then re-ing up. So again, dumping heavily here on GME as well. Cost to borrow is not going up. As you guys can see, cost to borrow still remaining low, 0.54%. I'm expecting to see a change in that. Also, cost to borrow here for GME sitting at 0.46%. So cost to borrow for AMC sitting at 0.54%. Cost to borrow for GME sitting at 0.46%. Again, with all of the shorting that we're seeing, you guys can see the volume right here. These are the white candles that you're seeing. I'm expecting to see cost of borrow go up here eventually. They are shorting heavily, getting shares for the low right now. They could be getting shares from share lending, from the dark pool, from several different places. Just make sure that your share lending is not on, because that is something that does hurt the apes. I know a couple of you guys left comments down below in yesterday's video that you do not share lend, and that is good because that is adverse for the apes, as if they lend your shares out, they're going to be used to short. Now GME, I am expecting to break and hold $23. Why do I think that's going to be? Well, GME first of all is in an overall uptrend. Okay, it's breaking out of a falling wedge and it's an overall uptrend. So first of all, that's bullish, all right? And second of all, we have multiple bullish technicals saying that we're going to push up here, okay? So you guys can see the bands are very, very tight. Green MACD above the blue medium line. That means we're going to make a move to the upside in my personal opinion. Also, you guys can see green MACD 2-hour and 4-hour time frame. If I go ahead and pop on the alligator, you guys can see that alligator is flipping bullish here on the 4-hour time frame and is fully flipped bullish here on the 2-hour time frame, and it's showing us that we have a lot of momentum to continue up. You guys can see that we're going up, building support, going up, building support. You're probably going to see tomorrow is you're going to see GameStop move up above $22.80 and then go for $23. And tomorrow, most likely, we're going to hold $23. If we don't hold $23 tomorrow, it's going to be the day after. But I am expecting $23 to be broken and held. We can also see that people are buying $23 call options in anticipation for this. You guys can see that there is some activity here with the $23 call options. As a trader and investor, $23 calls do look decent here for GME. Again, not a trade for you guys to personally take or anything like that. You guys have to do your own research before buying any stock or crypto asset and or derivative. But as a trader and investor, the $23 calls do look prime for this week or next week to potentially print out again as early as this week. So it looks like other people are buying $23 calls. GME stacked heavily to the call side versus puts. And you can see we're breaking out of a falling wedge. These are all bullish indications that GME is going to continue to the upside. Now I'm expecting GME to start continuing to the upside and continuing rally, and then AMC is going to follow up shortly after that. You guys can see that we just printed a fresh 2-hour buy signal here on GME, and RSI is not yet overbought on these bigger time frames, so we have some room to run to continue up before RSI gets overbought. So this is very, very bullish for GME to continue up, break and hold $23. We already hit the $23 price target that I gave you yesterday, and I believe that we're going to break and hold $23 either tomorrow or the day after. You guys can see that RSI is trending up as price is trending down here for AMC. That is bullish divergence. AMC is going to flatten out and correct to the upside. We have this bullish MACD, and this is why I believe that GME is going to push up, and then AMC is going to push up shortly after it. You can also see that AMC has these buy orders right here. So it looks like AMC most likely is going to be holding this 284, 285 level, and we'll probably bounce off that tomorrow and push to the upside. You might see like a little bit dip in the morning, but what you're probably most likely going to see is AMC actually start to recover and actually get a green day tomorrow, in my personal opinion, probably heading back towards like 290 or 295. Once we break and hold 295, that's going to be a significant sign that AMC is fully recovered. And of course, if we get to $3, that's where things could get interesting, because that's where AMC could start to move up a lot faster instead of all of this barcoding action that we've been seeing for the past couple of days. But this is what we're looking at for AMC and GME. Again, they've been just shorting heavily. Cost of borrow, we want to see go up. With all of the shorting that they've been doing, I'm expecting cost of borrow to rise here eventually. But GME is looking really, really good to continue up, in my personal opinion, and that's going to really help AMC move up as well. You guys can see we made this falling wedge today. We perfectly retested support, so I don't see why GME is not going to be able to break above and hold 2280 tomorrow. And if we do that, then $23 is going to be the next major support and resistance. And if we break and hold $23, you could see a decent move to the upside here for GME. And of course, if we do get that decent move, we're starting to get close to the gap fill, and this is where GME could really start to pump if it does get to 2484 and start moving into this gap fill, which goes all the way to 2847. This gap is on the daily time frame. This gap will get filled. GameStop will be returning to 2847 and probably much higher, because there's a gap fill all the way up to about 2965. So I think GameStop is actually building a base here. We've seen this before where GameStop has pulled back after these rallies. I think GameStop is building a base, and we're going to see a push back up towards that $30 mark. And if GME holds $30, that's where things can start to get crazy. Last time we held $30, we blasted off. So again, if we can get back up there, we have a chance to blast off and put some serious pressure on the shorts. AMC, of course, if it gets to that 550, 450 range, that could also put a lot of pressure on the shorts. I believe that GME is going to lead the way first, and then AMC is going to follow. I believe the only reason AMC is lagging right now is because AMC actually had more shares dumped on it total and is seeing more manipulation at time of recording right now. So this is what we're looking at for AMC and GME. Both of them are getting shorted heavily. Both of them are getting heavily dark pooled. But as far as fundamentals are concerned, AMC is absolutely thriving. The box office is going crazy. I got another video dropping this Friday. And guys, you do not want to miss this video, because it's way crazier than the last video. And there are so many people going to see the movies. I exposed what's really going on at AMC. So make sure you guys check out that video. It's going to be dropping Friday around 5:30 p.m. But you guys can check it out whenever you want, Friday or Saturday. So this is what we're looking at for the meme stocks, AMC and GME. Let's go ahead and move into SPY in the overall market, and then we'll go ahead and go into crypto. So SPY tracking really good. The market tracking really good with my overall prediction. You guys can see that we have this sell signal here on the 4-hour time frame, fresh print. I'm expecting bearishness for the market. I told you guys once we filled the gap, we're going to start to pull back, and SPY and NASDAQ both came up and filled the gap. Now we have gap fills to the downside, and I believe that's what we're working for. I believe we're actually going to see a red week this week, in my personal opinion. I believe SPY is going to continue down. Now you guys can see we're a little bit down here in after hours, so what I'm expecting is probably some recovery either pre-market or tomorrow morning, but I'm expecting SPY to go up to about 628, maybe 628.50, and then reject down. Okay, I'm expecting more downside. I want to make that very clear. In my personal opinion, I think we're getting ready to move down here on the general market. You guys can see that RSI is trending up, price is trending down. That is bullish divergence. This is on SQQQ. SQQQ is an index that moves inverse of NASDAQ. So when you see bullish divergence on SQQQ, that means there's a chance that NASDAQ is going to correct down. You guys can see also we have this fresh sell signal on the daily time frame as well. Also, we had this bearish engulfing form here on the weekly time frame and daily time frame for SPY, and this is going to play out, ladies and gentlemen. So I think that we are topping out on the markets. Also, Trump tariffs come into play August 7th. So that's going to be at later after this week. So get ready for that, because if they do fully go into effect, again, Trump has been changing his mind a lot, but if they do fully go into effect, that is going to bring the market down even more. And I think we're starting to see sell-off before that, as people are very, very uncertain, and market does not like uncertainty, okay? The market likes clarity, does not like uncertainty, and right now we have a lot of uncertainty. So we're tracking perfectly with this prediction here. We're probably going to start correcting back down towards these gap fills on NASDAQ and SPY, and that's going to bring the overall general market down and bring stocks down with it. SPY had this bear flag today, which I called out, gave a great play in the Discord, absolutely printed off of that. You guys can see I called out the puts here, and the puts have been printing ever since. Hopefully you guys took profit, as I did give you guys targets in the Discord. I am expecting a little bit more recovery for SPY tomorrow, but it's mostly going to be downside. So maybe recovery here in pre-market or the morning session, but then I'm expecting it to drop down. And I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we had another red day here on SPY, but I am expecting some recovery before the movement down, as possibly as high as like 628, 628.50, or maybe even as high as 629. So just be ready for that. SPY could easily push up again before correcting down, but I think it's going to be a lower high and then continue its way down, giving us an overall red week. This one I'm looking at for SPY in the overall market. Let's go ahead and go to BTC and crypto and then wrap up this video. So Bitcoin is tracking roughly here with my prediction. It is holding key levels here. We want to make sure that Bitcoin does remain above like 110, 115K. That way altcoins don't absolutely dump, because if Bitcoin did lose that level, altcoins would absolutely dump, okay? We do have this fractal that says we might be topping out, and we are meeting a lot of resistance. So if we did top out, I would expect Bitcoin to come down to the liquidity zone of about 105 to 100K and then get a bounce from there. So I don't think we're going to be going lower than like 100 to 95K in my personal opinion. If that were to happen, altcoins would go on sale, but crypto dips are for buying in my personal opinion, okay? These dips on crypto are opportunities. Now, there is a chance that Bitcoin does consolidate and stay above like 112, 110K. And if it does, there's a chance that it could push up, and then we'll hit my 125 price target, okay? If we do hit my 125 price target, altcoins are going to explode. But we really need to see if my fractal is going to continue tracking. That's that blue line that you see here, which has been tracking basically for about 2 years now. We really need to see if this fractal is going to continue tracking and we're going to see a pullback, or are we going to be able to hold the 110 to 115K level, or range rather, and then push up from there. So as long as we don't lose like 110, I wouldn't expect a big dump down to 100K. But if we can maintain above 110, 115K, I would expect to move up towards 125. So we're really in the waiting zone to really see what's going on. If we did see a pullback, it's not going to be the end of the world in my personal opinion. Right now, obviously, altcoins are down because Bitcoin is down, but Ethereum's looking fine. XRP is looking fine. Actually, XRP is looking like it's a good buy zone. Ethereum is still above macro accumulation, using the sloping support and resistance as support. Still have this buy signal on the weekly time frame. It looks like we're basically consolidating, and it looks like the whole entire crypto market isn't consolidating and accumulating before another move up. Signs that we are possibly in accumulation for crypto are, again, the crypto fear and greed being in the light greed to neutral area. Yesterday it was in neutral. Right now it's moving towards the greed area. Again, be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. And if you look at the BTC rainbow chart literally saying we're in accumulation zone. So we could definitely see some more upside. I do not think the market is overbought. I do not think Bitcoin is overvalued. I think that we're right where we need to be to consolidate and potentially move to the upside. So this is looking good to me as far as I'm concerned. As you guys can see, Bitcoin rainbow chart showing that we are in the accumulation zone. right here in that accumulation. You guys can see it right there. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if BTC were to move up. Cardano ADA still tracking with my macro prediction. Probably going to accumulate around 70 to 75 cents before moving up towards $1, maybe even $1.25. XRP, if it is able to hold, like, as long as it doesn't go like 3.2, 3,000 below that level, you're probably going to see a move up towards 4.2. Maybe even higher. It could possibly be breaking out of this macro accumulation, which could send it flying. Also, there's a chance that there's a road paved for the XRP ETF. XRP is one of the top coins that are absolutely going to explode. This is news that I've been talking about in my past couple of videos. We just got that recent legislation for crypto that's very, very bullish on crypto. So I think there's a possible chance that we get a big BlackRock XRP ETF, which would absolutely send the price flying towards like $4. Okay, so I think that's going to happen before 2026. I think a lot of good things are happening for crypto. I think crypto mass adoption is happening in front of our eyes, and I believe that this is simply an accumulation / shakeout before another move to the upside. I know some people are bearish on crypto, and if we did see a pullback, I would expect a bounce up around that 100K. But me personally, I think that we're actually going to start seeing things start to turn around here shortly, and we're going to start moving up. I don't think we're going to see that pullback, in my personal opinion. I think the fractal is actually going to decouple, and we're going to move up, but we really have to see what's going on, and we have to stay locked in. So make sure you guys like and subscribe. That way you guys can track what's going on. I go live all the time, so you guys can see what's going on live as well. I also have a merch store if you guys want to check that out, but this is pretty much everything I have for you guys. I think XRP is going to break off the sloping support and resistance and get a nice bounce up back towards 335. If it does go to 335, then there's a chance it could go to 366. And if it breaks hold 366, you could see a nasty pop towards 380 or $4 as it goes into price discovery mode. I believe that this overall downtrend that XRP is in is ending as we are breaking above the sloping support and resistance, and I think we're about to see a turnaround in the overall crypto market as we are simply in an accumulation before moving back to the upside. This is your daily stock and crypto outlook and prediction. Again, I do have a merch store. I'm rocking some of the merch right now. If you guys want to check it out, link in the comment section description below. I also have a Discord as well, exclusive technicals and predictions. But if you want to support for absolutely free, all you have to do is hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. You can also share these videos as well. It's a great way to help me out and get me in the algorithm. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you, especially if you made it to the end of the video to see this message, because that also helps me out the algorithm and helps me make the most money off ad revenue. So I appreciate you guys for that. And as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.